Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
Eagle Eye TV has done a great job.
And welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
We are just having a great time here in Auburn, Alabama. The party is not over yet.
Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Lucy Chapman.
And I'm Brady Huneycutt. Thank you for joining us.
A spring break nightmare. Police in Barcelona, Spain have recovered the body of 20-year-old James Gracie after being declared missing for several days. James Gracie was a student of University of Alabama when him and his friends went to Spain for spring break. He was last seen on Tuesday in front of the Chaco nightclub and was declared missing shortly after. Police found a body at Port Olympic Marina earlier today and confirmed it to be James Gracie. Gracie's family has expressed thanks for the support but have not addressed any of the new developments of the case. Investigators are still underway on what truly happened to James Gracie and the motivations as to why.
Auburn students have varying opinions following Auburn's men's basketball team accepting an invitation to play at the NIT. Eagle Eye's Gavin Dimmitt has more.
After a season full of mixed feelings, Auburn's men's basketball team has accepted an invitation to play in the NIT tournament. We asked Auburn students their thoughts and feelings about the invitation.
After the regular season's conclusion, Auburn was invited to play in the NIT as the #1 overall seed. Following a stellar Final Four run during the 2025 March Madness tournament, Auburn students and fans are let down by the team's performance this season. The team plans on playing other schools they typically wouldn't play against in March Madness. This begs the question, is the tournament even worth participating in? Auburn students Will Doig and Ginny Tate-May have more.
I'm glad they entered it because I think it looks kind of bad if they don't. But obviously very disappointed about not getting into March Madness. And honestly, when you're playing like Seattle U and South Alabama, I didn't even watch the game last night. It just wasn't very interesting to me, which I hate that because I love Auburn. But yeah, NIT is the NIT.
I think it's great if we win the whole thing. And if not, I don't know if I really care about it.
While students pointed out several flaws throughout the season, a majority of the students blamed the team's unity heading into the tournament. Auburn student Oliver Kiesel has more.
If we have a bunch of players that, instead of buying in for the last few games, start thinking me first, that could definitely hinder us.
Change? Not exactly. Auburn University Graduate Student Council's president is pushing for what he's calling a, quote, modernization of graduate student government. Eagle Eye reporter Lucas Hazelrig has more on the story.
I wouldn't call it an independence measure. I would call it a modernization.
As it stands today, both the graduate and undergraduate student governments fall under the same umbrella here at Auburn University. However, the Graduate Student Council president is looking to disaffiliate entirely from the SGA in what he describes as a modernization.
This idea of modernization stems from the GSC feeling misrepresented in the SGA. From the perspective of GSC President Ramon Qureshi, gerrymandering is hindering the organization.
The main one was a issue with gerrymandering that we raised with SGA and student involvement several times. They didn't really seem to want us to be a part of SGA in a much more substantive way. And so that's what led to us wanting to, break apart.
On the other hand, Owen Beaverstock sees that the current system is fair and does not limit representation.
I absolutely believe that the system is fair, not only because a graduate student has every opportunity as an undergraduate student, if not more. Actually, they do have more to run for positions within the student senate. But also, I would say that a senate seat being an undergraduate student does not mean that their job would still be to represent a graduate student as well within that seat.
But what benefits does the GSC see in this affiliation? According to Qureshi, one would be removing themselves from what he calls the, quote, control and authority over the allocation of the GSC's budget.
Right now, the SGA treasurer has full control and authority over the allocation of the GSC's budget allocation. So if the treasurer wants, they can cut, $10,000, $15,000 from the request to SGA's Budget and Finance Committee. There's no language in SGA's Code of Laws that doesn't allow that.
So what kind of impact would disaffiliation have on the two organizations? Well, from Owen Beaverstock's point of view, not a good one.
And I think overall that would weaken the student voice at Auburn, allowing SGA to advocate for issues that serve the entirety of student body, and then it would also bring a challenge to the graduate students to create a new platform that doesn't exist currently for themselves to advocate for issues as well outside of SGA and other university channels. Additionally, another thing that could be a concern for students in the future if this was able to continue on is graduate students may not be able to participate in student organizations to the same extent as they currently do now.
Later in the meeting, voting amongst GSC members took place, and the majority voted in favor of disaffiliation. Members like Matthew Hooks felt like this was a long time coming.
Though it does make up a smaller sect of the population, nonetheless, we too are people and we too deserve to have a say in our own governance.
I would encourage any graduate student that doesn't feel like their voice is heard now to bring their voice to their leaders, to bring to the SGA leaders so that they can advocate for them. And then I would also encourage them to participate within SGA as a whole. I would encourage them to run for Senate positions and apply for positions on cabinet. They are able to do that and are just as equipped as any student at Auburn to participate in those ways as well.
Qureshi explained that they plan to bring this result to the Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Bobby Woodard, and hopes to petition the Board of Trustees. For Auburn's News Leader, I'm Lucas Hazelrig.
If the rest of the graduate student body sees it this way, Qureshi and the Graduate Senate might have a real case for change. When we come back, you'll have a weather update with Annabelle Whetstone and a political update with Tessa Allen. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. That's okay, I can see it. Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. My name is Annabelle Whetstone, here with your weather outlook for this week on the plains. We're expecting temperatures to finally rise this week. Spring is beginning to spring. The week ahead looks dry with full sun almost every day and rain only expected on Wednesday. Moving into this weekend, we're seeing dry conditions with bright sunny skies. The highs are in the 70s and the 80s while the lows are in the 50s. And that's it for this week's weather on the plains. Stick around because next up it's Tessa Allen with your political news update. I'm your weather anchor, Annabelle Whetstone, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Good evening and welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Tessa Allen with Eye on the Hill, here to give you all things politics. After President Donald Trump fired Kristi Noem for being Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, he nominated Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to take the DHS Secretary position. As of Thursday, Markwayne Mullin is one step closer to being confirmed into his position as the head of the Department of Homeland Security. Markwayne Mullin's nomination will move towards a full Senate vote after Democratic Senator John Fetterman advanced it out of a narrow Senate committee vote. Fetterman's vote was crucial after Republican Chair Rand Paul voiced his disapproval for Mullin over concerns about Mullin's temperament. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said he hopes to hold Mullin's confirmation vote early next week. Have you noticed that prices are rising? The war in Iran is now in its third week, and U.S. citizens have been seeing firsthand the impact of the conflict. From gas to groceries, Americans are feeling the weight of the rise in prices, resulting in increased concern over the war in Iran. However, the Trump administration has now asked Congress for more funding to be allocated towards the efforts of the Iranian war, and Congress members are on the fence. Senator Lisa Murkowski gives reporters her take on funding the Iran war.
The people in Alaska are asking me, how long is this going on? Are there going to be boots on the ground? How much is this going to cost? To what extent is the Congress engaged in this? And the answer on most of this is, I don't know. And Alaskans have entrusted me to find this information out. So before I can do my Article 1 responsibility in terms of helping to fund a war effort, I want to know some of the answers to the questions that Alaskans are asking me.
U.S. citizens have asked countless questions to the Trump administration and congressmen about what it would look like for the U.S. to continue this war with Iran, but are getting little answers. On Tuesday, President Donald Trump asked U.S. allies to assist in protecting the Strait of Hormuz from Iran, but many allied nations gave no response to the president. But today, President Donald Trump hosted Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi at the White House about U.S.-Japan relations. However, after the bilateral meeting took place, the leaders answered questions from reporters, with one asking President Donald Trump why did he not notify U.S. allies, like Japan, about his intention to strike Iran. President Trump proceeded to respond with a joke about Japan's World War II attack on Pearl Harbor. Let's take a look.
One thing you don't want to signal too much, you know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did.
President Trump's statement evoked the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Many journalists, faculty members, and diplomats had mixed responses over the comment. Many were shocked by the response, with Director of the Center for Asia Policy Studies at the Brookings Institution in Washington, Mariah Solis, stating how the comment focused on the divided past of the nations instead of emphasizing the creation of a strong bond between the countries. That's all with Eye on the Hill, but when we get back, you'll get a national news update from the desk. I'm Tessa Allen with Eagle Eye News.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. Democratic lawmakers walked out of a closed-door briefing with Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche Wednesday. They were dissatisfied with how their questions were being answered concerning the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein document release. The top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee said Bondi refused to commit to sitting for a deposition after a subpoena to testify to Congress next month. California Congressman Robert Garcia said that continues what he called the Trump administration's cover-up of the Epstein files.
It's also clear to us that this is being staged as some kind of fake hearing. We're in the hearing room. We've all been given 3 minutes of time by the chairman to ask questions. There's no briefing. There was no actual opening statements by the Attorney General or the Deputy AG. No oath. There was no, of course, she's not under oath. And she would not commit to actually going under oath and following the law.
Garcia called what happened in the briefing a complete disrespect of the process and that the American people should be outraged. Garcia said Bondi's deposition under oath is needed in a setting where her testimony is recorded, transcribed, and then released to the public.
Iconic labor leader Cesar Chavez has been accused of decades of sexual abuse. The allegations were detailed in a New York Times investigative report. According to the Times, Chavez allegedly abused and molested multiple women over the course of decades, including some minors. One of the alleged victims was legendary activist Dolores Huerta, who co-founded the United Farm Workers Union with Chavez. The Times says it interviewed more than 60 people regarding the allegations and used union records, emails, and other documents to corroborate aspects of the accounts. In a statement after the release of the report, Huerta said she had 2 sexual encounters with Chavez, once against her will and once when she was being pressured. Both resulted in pregnancies.
It's been hard to absorb this.
CNN has not independently verified the allegations. Chavez died in 1993. In a statement, the Chavez family told the Times the allegations were, quote, deeply painful to our family. They said that they honor the voices of those who feel unheard and who report sexual misconduct. The Cesar Chavez Foundation says it is working with leaders in the farm worker movement to be responsive to the allegations and support people who may have been harmed by his actions.
President Donald Trump's pick to head the embattled Department of Homeland Security faces scathing questions from senators today during his first confirmation hearing, with immigration agents' actions, global threats, and a partial government shutdown in the spotlight. Brian Abel brings us the highlights of Senator Markwayne Mullin's day on Capitol Hill.
Do you think fighting
as a resolution for political differences a good example for the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol?
In the hot seat on Capitol Hill, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen testifying during his confirmation hearing to lead the Department of Homeland Security. A tense start as Senator Rand Paul questioned Mullen over his temperament.
Explain to the American public why they should trust a man with anger issues to set the proper example for ICE and Border Patrol agents.
Let me earn your respect. Let me earn the job. I won't fail you. I won't back down from a challenge. And I'll also admit when I'm wrong.
Mullen's confirmation process for DHS Secretary comes after the ouster of Kristi Noem, whose tenure at the top of the department ended in a partial government shutdown, now in its second month, over the agency's immigration enforcement actions. Democrats voting to withhold funding while demanding significant reforms following the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal agents in Minneapolis.
In the past 14 months, Secretary Noem has fundamentally broken the American people's trust in the Department of Homeland Security. If confirmed to lead the department, how will you be different from Secretary Noem?
My management style is empowering people. And as I said in my opening statement, I want to protect the homeland. I want to bring peace of mind. And I want to bring confidence back to the agency.
Mullen will next face a full vote in the Senate if the committee approves his nomination. In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
When we come back, you'll get an entertainment update from Olivia Oakley. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Olivia Oakley, here to give you your entertainment news for the week. Val Kilmer is set to re-enter our movie theaters through the power of AI. Hollywood star Val Kilmer, or at least a photorealistic digital rendering of him, will be featured in an upcoming movie later this year. The Top Gun and Batman Forever actor passed away to throat cancer this past year. Before getting sick, Kilmer was planning to take on a role in the film As Deep as the Grave, according to the New York Times. The movie's writer and director told the Times that the AI rendering of Kilmer was made in a collaboration between his family and the filmmakers to get a realistic resemblance. They collected and used previously recorded videos, images, and audio in their process. I have the one and only 24-karat gold Labubu. This phrase may sound familiar to many of our viewers. It references the viral collectible Labubu that took the internet by storm. Labubus are now headed to Hollywood. Sony Pictures is creating a new film based on the dolls. Before Labubus became the global phenomenon they are today, they originated as a picture book series. Sony acquired the rights last year and had unveiled their new creative team behind the vision. Paul King, best known for films like Paddington and Wonka, will be producing and directing the film. He'll also co-write the screenplay with award-winning playwright Stephen Levinson. The film is still in its early days of development, so there is no release time at this time. Lollapalooza's 2026 headliner list has been revealed. There are some big names at this year's Lollapalooza, including recent collaborators Charlie XCX and Lorde, and icons like Tate McRae, Jenny, and Olivia Dean. Other artists include the Smashing Pumpkins, the Chainsmokers, and Somber. There will also be an appearance from the Stranger Things actor Finn Wolfhard. Performances span from July 30th to August 2nd at Chicago's Grant Park. Ticket sales open today. If your Spidey senses are tingling, it might be onto something. The first trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day has been released. It's the fourth standalone Spider-Man movie and will star Tom Holland as the lead. The trailer shows us a glimpse of how Punisher and Hulk will also feature in the film. Marvel says it will be in theaters July 31st. That's all I have for you today. When we come back, you'll get a business consumer update from Lucy and Brady. I'm Olivia Oakley, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. A long-simmering congressional stalemate has burst into very public view at the nation's airports. Karen Caifa is in Washington with a look at travelers' options amid ballooning TSA wait times at some airports and the latest moves on Capitol Hill.
A partial government shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security dragged on unnoticed by many Americans for weeks. And now more TSA officers are either calling out or quitting because they're not getting paid, and travelers and airlines are growing more exasperated.
Spring break volume collides with a congressional impasse, with airline passengers stalled in the middle.
Even if you're going to an airport that hasn't had issues with these staffing shortages, you just don't know when it can happen.
TSA officers have worked without pay since February 14th, when Department of Homeland Security funding lapsed amid a stalemate over federal immigration reform. TSA officials say callouts and resignations are mounting.
Our TSA officers, as long as they don't get paid, they're going to continue to call out. They can't afford to come in. And they're going to quit altogether. And that's a serious concern.
The Department of Transportation says passengers are entitled to refunds only for a canceled flight, a schedule change, or a significant delay, or on a fully refundable ticket that isn't used, not a TSA backup. But Meghna Maharishi, airline reporter at travel news site Skift, recommends travelers stay in close touch with their airline. Some are offering more rebooking flexibility.
That is a circumstance that is also outside of your control, and it is outside of the airline's control too.
Off-peak travel may also ease wait times.
I definitely say either early morning or very late at night. Those are probably going to be the two best times, just because there probably won't be as many flights taking off, and there probably won't be as many passengers on those flights, so you probably won't be dealing with very long security lines.
Passengers can also consider TSA pre-check for future travel. Maharishi says some travel credit cards will reimburse consumers for the cost.
Some airports have started soliciting donations like gas and grocery gift cards for TSA officers. And the mayor of Atlanta, home to the nation's busiest airport, says the city is covering meal vouchers and parking for TSA personnel to help keep them on the job. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Officials in Washington County, Wisconsin, want to rename a highway after the late conservative political activist Charlie Kirk. But not everyone supports the plan. Megan Lee reports on the price tag and politics behind this proposal.
A stretch of County Trunk Highway K, otherwise known as just Highway K in Washington County, could have a new name.
Changing any highway name at that cost to me is a little bit outrageous.
The price tag, $50,000 to change the name to Charlie J. Kirk Way.
Changing the name of a highway, not necessarily bad, but when it costs $50,000 to do that out of the general fund, that bothered me.
Ron Stebbs and his wife Diane reached out to TMJ4 after hearing that this item is on the agenda for the Washington County Executive Committee meeting scheduled for Wednesday.
How can I get out this message to the most people? And then I thought of you guys first.
The Stebbs think this should be talked about more in the county. Kirk was a conservative political activist who founded Turning Point USA. He was shot and killed during an event last September.
It's like telling someone that we're all thinking alike, and we're not. We're a very diverse group here.
There's some people in this area that don't want his name on their highway. What would you say to them?
Let's talk about it. I mean, that's the whole point, right?
County Executive Josh Showman thinks the name could bring his county together.
Even people he disagreed with, engaging in conversation, particularly at the end of his life, I think it was so important and so much of what we need.
Drivers could see these signs while driving on I-41. The county executive tells me if this is passed by the county board, the signs would not only be placed on the stretch of road that would be named after Kirk, but the interstate as well.
They're very, very large.
The $50,000, what does that cover? Just the signage?
Yeah, it's just signage.
Okay,
That'll be the only change.
Big price tag for signs.
Yeah, there's some big signs.
Those signs would be on Highway K from County Road R to State Highway 144, which is home to places like Gehring's Meat Market.
I've always known it as Highway K, so it'd be a big change, getting used to a new name.
Ben Gehring thinks the price tag might be too high and fears it could cause divide.
You hate seeing the big divide and the big riff, and it's like you don't want controversy, you just want everyone to get along.
This divided agenda item could make its way to the full county board for a final vote if passed by the executive committee on Wednesday. In Washington County, Megan Lee, TMJ4 News.
For the first time, a major prediction market company faces criminal gambling charges. The Arizona Attorney General is pursuing 20 misdemeanor counts against Kalshi. She argues it broke state law by accepting bets for sports events and elections in Arizona. A spokesperson for Kalshi says the case is, quote, paper thin, saying only the federal government can regulate prediction markets. That's also the position of the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
We're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Brady Huneycutt.
And I'm Lucy Chapman. Thank you for watching,
And War Eagle!